On the 1st of January 2019, All Elite Wrestling was officially announced to the world, and since then I have faced constant questions as to how they will fare against the WWE. AEW's flagship program Dynamite started on October 2nd and almost immediately was thrust into direct competition with an NXT brand that moved to the USA Network and to 2 hours. Just like that, both sides have been locked in a ratings war since day one. Now, I reached out to the WWE very early in the formation of AEW and I asked them, do they look at AEW even as competition? I've been told repeatedly that they see no threat and are not worried at all, including in conversations with Triple H after NXT UK takeover in Cardiff in August. That said, AEW themselves have done everything in their power to position themselves as the greatest threat to the WWE since WCW. Have they succeeded? And are AEW a threat to the WWE? I'm Tom Colahue, and if you want more exclusive news and in-depth analysis, please do remember to click subscribe and click like if you want more like this. Now, one thing that's become very clear in the last few weeks, it's that both sides, WWE and AEW, see a win as a very different thing and have different criteria to meet it. This is one of the reasons why they are both engaging in a large amount of spin right now to phrase themselves as the winners in the direct contest between NXT and AEW. Ratings wise, does the win come from the total amount of people watching the product, or does it come from an ease of accessibility for advertisers? It's not a simple question to answer, but it is important to assess how AEW is a threat based on this. When AEW launched, they hit a 1.4 million viewership and an incredible amount in key demographics based around the 18 to 50 category, where apparently, according to AEW, most advertisers focus. To my knowledge, there is lots of nuance inside that rating, and it is not so wide a rating at all. Also, a key thing here is that AEW from a purely business standpoint are still in a phase of being considered untrusted. This doesn't mean that individuals in the company can't be trusted, far from it. What it means is that advertisers, investors and casual fans are less likely to commit because they are such a new entity. Within the first 3 years, businesses are really in their infancy, and there is an old business adage saying that you shouldn't expect to be making money within the first 3 years at least. My own personal business plan as a wrestling journalist was built around making money after the end of the first 3 years. What this means is that regardless of any demographic win, AEW are not more appealing to advertisers than the WWE is. The WWE is an established entity with a proven track record and several long-term relationships already built in place. That said, even though we've not even had a full year of Dynamite yet, and it's important to note that it's a year of Dynamite because talent contracts did not activate until weekly programming was in place, they are already booking that 3-year trend. Despite a number of quite expensive signings and some particularly big names, cream of the crop being Jon Moxley of course, AEW are apparently very happy, particularly the Khan family, with their income versus expenditure numbers. In addition to this, their TV deal money continues to come in. It is a very good TV deal that really the ratings that they are achieving are more than exceeding expectations. If AEW was competing with expectations set by their TV company, they would be demolishing targets every week. And in fact, they are. If we talk about a threat to the WWE as per in-ring quality, I've got to say the quality for AEW has been tremendous. Unfortunately, they're also going up against NXT, where the quality is also tremendous. One of the sort of side effects of this is that we're seeing a real increase in match length and quality on Raw and SmackDown, and that's been really a key thing for the last 2 or 3 years as more people from NXT come up to that main roster. AEW definitely pose a threat as regards in-ring quality, particularly as regards their tag team division and of course a much better use of Jon Moxley, formerly Dean Ambrose, in the WWE. Roster size wise, AEW does look bloated, particularly if you look at the women's and tag division based on the amount of time they get on TV, but with a second show apparently in the works and an hour of TV programming to fill on AEW Dark airing on YouTube, so not technically TV, they are still finding a way to use almost everyone. It's just a shame that there are moments when someone new comes in, potentially goes into a really large match, and then falls off the map. This is also true of NXT, of course. The biggest area in which AEW does not pose a threat at the moment is public perception. The WWE is still the first name that comes to anyone's mind whenever you mention wrestling, and I'm sure this is true of a lot of AEW fans as well, who over the decades that the WWE has been running have been essentially conditioned to think of the WWE first. Worldwide megastars like Hulk Hogan, The Rock and John Cena will always be associated with the WWE, and the fact that they are such big names really means that the WWE continues to be a huge part of public consciousness. Essentially, it is an American institution. AEW are taking steps to counter that, and we've seen that with the use of Bret Hart, Arn Anderson, DDP, and as well as of course some huge names that they have acquired such as Chris Jericho, Pac, Kenny Omega, people who draw in a lot of eyes. Unfortunately, they are yet to really create anyone who would become a Hogan, a Rock, a Cena, but that just needs time. Cody could very much be the first one, and he may well be well on his way now. There are even some major public figures, and I cannot overstate the importance of this, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is weighing in on the conversation and really helping to build the infrastructure for public perception for All Elite Wrestling. Remember when Brazzers was hyping up Becky Lynch on Twitter? That's marketing now! Unfortunately, despite making major steps in this first year, All Elite Wrestling is not a threat to World Wrestling Entertainment. The main reason is simple. They're actually at the moment not competing with the WWE at all. They are competing on only one night directly with the third most successful brand of the WWE, NXT. And even at the moment, they are really locked in tight and struggling to pull away. They're running a very close race on Wednesday nights, and even though NXT is now starting to look like it's pulling away, AEW could very easily pull that back. Unfortunately, despite record lows on Raw and consistent lows right now on SmackDown, All Elite Wrestling cannot come even close to those numbers. Right now, AEW is not a threat to the WWE. But ask me again next year. The answer might be different. I've been Tom Collihew. Please subscribe for more content like this in the future, and I want to say thank you for joining me.